I'm back. Still depressed, but I'm back. Is my mic even on? No. Now it is. Now, I'm only doing this video because I find it very weird that women in general aren't able to live their life as they choose. And it's weird that people just have a comment on anything a woman does or anything a man does. And they seem happy. She's not arguing. She's not saying, I don't want to live this life anymore as of right now. So what is the issue? Now, if you haven't seen, well, I guess read the interview, there's red flags that people are bringing up. Just a synopsis of why people are so angry and are saying these things are red flags, right? So this Ballerina Farm has 8 kids and they are no nannies. And during part of the interview, her husband said that she is a hard worker and she is usually in bed of exhaustion for a week straight. Like, she gets no breaks, which is a red flag, because what do you mean she be in bed for a whole week due to exhaustion? That is, she needs some help. She needs some help, sir. What do you mean? But again, it can be taken out of context. We could say that it was taken out of context and she probably gave birth one time and she was sick, or she was sick and she needed some rest. Like, it could be a million things that could have been taken out of context. And the reason why I don't like articles is because we don't hear these people speaking. We just have to take what the interviewer says and take it as face value. We get no context. We don't hear the kids screaming in the back and doing whatever. We don't hear the cows mooing, moo, 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 milk me, please, bitch. Like, we don't hear any of that. And I don't like articles because of that reason. There's no context to it at all. And we have to just run with what the journalist says, and it could be 2 different things. What the journalist is observing and what the interviewee is actually living, you know? But anyways, the second one is that the journalist can never talk to her alone. Yeah, of course, she has 8 children, a husband, and a cow that goes moo moo in the back. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What? That didn't really make sense to me. She also states, as her husband walked away at one instance, that's when she was able to tell the journalist that she actually had epidural one time for one of the kids, and it was amazing. Now, that could also be taken out of context. She probably would have said that when her husband was around. We really don't know. Again, with journalism, we have to just take it as face value, especially if it's in an article. Number 4, which I do find 100% weird. Some people might find it romantic. I find it weird, but her husband coned his way into the first date. So if you don't know, her husband is the heir of the JetBlue CEO. Now, her husband caught wind that she was going on a trip. He moved a few, pulled a few strings to get a seat right next to her. And that was their first date. Now, this is weird. 100% weird. Because why are you going so hard? For me, that is a red flag. Like, I'm the type of person, let's go on a coffee date. I don't want you following me to a trip that I wanted to go by myself. Like, that's weird. Just, I need space. I'm very, like, once you're around, I start being get away. Yes, I have issues as well, but this is very weird. I will feel like somebody is stalking me if somebody did this to me, especially like if I'm just still trying to get to know you. That's weird. She seemingly had to quit ballet. She was in Juilliard, a school in New York City with all the professional ballet dancers, and this is where she met this man, and she soon got pregnant and had to quit ballet. And now it says seemingly because it seems as if she didn't really want to, but due to her faith, she had to keep the baby, and right? But, and I'll show you in another interview, you hear her talk and she says, yeah, my husband said that if I didn't want to have a family, it's okay if I want to continue doing dance and ballerinaing. That is okay as well, and I chose to grow a family with him, and I sacrificed a lot. And it's not only me sacrificing, he also had to sacrifice his endeavors to make this happen, which I can imagine. It's not only the wife always sacrificing, it's also the husband as well, especially with 8 kids. Like, I'm struggling myself to have my own life with 2 kids. I can imagine with 8 kids, it's going to be hard as hell. And I wish that she has some help and gets a nanny or something, has some family around to help her, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. And that is a very big red flag, especially if your wife is struggling and, you know, staying in bed due to exhaustion. That could really have a very bad, you know, deterioration to her health, and she's going to be stressed out, and she might have a happy face all the time, but at the end of the day, that could lead to a lot of health issues. You need to get her some help before she gets some hypertension or some shit. What are you doing? You know, you have all this money and you're not using it to your advantage because of beliefs that you have. But at the end of the day, what are you going to do when your wife is dead of exhaustion? You going to take care of those 8 kids? No, you're going to find yourself a new wife. That's what exactly you're going to do. And that just shows the lack of a little bit of, like, concern or, like, love that you put into your family. And that is a red flag. I would say that. They don't use birth control, which I don't know why they listed that as a red flag. Like, a lot of people don't use birth control. A lot of people don't believe in that. Like, not all people need to use birth control. I certainly do not use birth control because it does not make me feel good at all. I actually had very bad, susu thoughts. Nobody uses that. That's my new thing, susu thoughts. When I was on birth control, so that was not a thing for me, and it never will be. I don't like it. I will never do it again. Like, it's not for me. It will never be for me, and it's not for a lot of people. It also made me gain weight. I was dieting, I was exercising. I would gain 10 pounds each month, literally. And the doctor would be like, oh, you're gaining weight? Yes, because I am on birth control, and one of the side effects for a lot of people is gaining weight, unwanted weight. Even if you exercise, even if you eat well, even if you fast. I was also fasting. I would be exhausted and hangry from fasting, and I still would gain 10 pounds each month. And it was psychologically just also contributing to my, depression. Sorry for the natural lighting. I don't have my ring light today, but anyways. And she has no space to be a ballerina on the farm, which I feel like she should have a space. The renovated farmhouse that she wanted to use for her ballerina space is actually now the kids' school farm. I think they should at least build a shed so she could, just practice. And she could also practice with the kids. It doesn't even have to be her thing. Like, if she doesn't want it to be only her thing, she could also practice with the kids. It will be a good experience for at least her daughters, to see her mom have their mom have a hobby. That's a really important thing as a kid. Like, my mother did have no hobbies, and I was like, when I was growing up, I struggled in finding something I liked because I witnessed my mom just work hard all day, every day. And I thought that's just what life is. She wasn't happy at all, but she had money. I thought that's what life was until I started getting into, like, filming and, like, editing, and I found something that I actually like, and I'm like, oh, I can actually make money off of this. I never had anybody around my life that had hobbies. Like, it was work, home, work, home. And I watched them struggle with mental illness because it was always work, home, work, home. Bad situation, you know? They never had something for themselves. And that's really, you need something for yourself, even if it's like taking a little trip here and there. And speaking about trips, for her birthday, she wanted to go to Greece. You know, they're millionaires. They're millionaires. She's married to the heir of JetBlue, who pulled some strings to have a seat next to her while she was taking the trip. I'm pretty sure he could also pull some strings to send her to Greece, but guess what she got for her birthday? A egg apron. I would have burnt that egg apron. That would have been the start of my villain era. Like, I do all this and almost die from exhaustion, and you give me an egg apron? I will kill all those damn chickens. Don't play with me. I will feed them to you all for dinner as a good wife. And we will no longer have any chickens. Therefore, I don't need this egg apron. Send me to fucking Greece, bitch. But on the other hand, I understand because they don't have no nanny. Who's gonna watch the kids? You're not going to bring the kids to Greece with you, are you? Red flag. Like, what? An egg apron? Oh, nah. Now, I will play some of the audio of the interview and let me know what you think, because I didn't read the article. I listened to some people talk about the article, and then I went and saw Brett Cooper pull up audio from the interview, and it sounds like two different things. It just sounds like there's a lot going on. It's hard to concentrate on the questions. And when she can concentrate on the questions, they weren't inserted into the article, which is very weird.
Based on what we know now, the lies that were told are just insane. Now, all of this got especially tense and heated when people realized that The Times, which is the newspaper that published this article, has a podcast, and that this author, Megan, had gone on the podcast to talk about this amazing article that she was writing about trad wives and about Hannah Nealman. And in this podcast, she releases actual audio recordings from the interview that she did with Hannah and Daniel and their whole family. What we all hear in this podcast is drastically different than the story that she printed. Just listen here.
Give up a piece of yourself. Yeah. I don't think I would change it. No. Daniel was like, if you want to dance, like, go dance, like, we were open to anything, but I knew deep down that I wanted to raise my babies,
She seemingly loves her life there, so I'm not saying that she was kind of tricked or coerced into going at all.
Oh, not at all. No, that is literally what you wrote in the article. We hear Hannah say, Daniel said I could dance, we were open to anything, but I knew that I wanted to raise my babies. And then the journalist on this podcast goes, yeah, well, I'm not saying she was coerced. You literally wrote that. Are you so blind to honesty or the idea that somebody could make a different choice than you and it not be based in coercion and toxic masculinity that you literally cannot see what you're saying and that it is a complete lie? Like, it literally, I have no words.
And that brings me to, why can't women just live the way they want to live? I literally don't understand this concept of feminists getting at, I guess, the pygmies, or like the trad wives, and the trad wives getting at the feminists. Like, live the way you want to live. Didn't God give us free will? Didn't we come out the womb with free will? I don't understand it. And there's a lot of people hating on trad wives, or hating on Ballerina Farm, to be specific, because they have so much self-guilt of not being able to stay home, stay with the families, and, work with their families, that when they look at Ballerina Farm, it's like, that bitch, she thinks she better than us. And it's like, bruh, no, that's not the case. She just chose a different life. She got lucky enough to be with a millionaire, and she chose a different life. And you chose a different life. Not everybody's cards are dealt equally, and I experienced that not even half of my life, all my life. I knew my cards were fucked up from the beginning, but I chose to not make them even more fucked up. The best that I could, because sometimes shit happened. I tried to play my cards correctly because I was dealt a shitty ass hand, to be honest with you. And you should too. Don't be mad. Don't be mad that you are choosing differently or you have to do certain stuff. It's okay. And if you're not happy with what you got going on, you need some help. You need some help. You need to figure out what you like to do. You need to figure out how to be able to do that thing you like to do. And it's kind of messed up because for the people who have kids, you don't realize what is going to happen in the process of having kids and how life is going to change until you're actually in it. And it's just like, fuck, now I have to change everything around. But that is your responsibility as an adult, to figure shit out. That's not on Ballerina Farm. That's not on these trad wives. That's not on the feminists at all. And I don't get the backlash of just women wanting to live at all. I don't get that. Just let people live their lives. Let people live their lives. If they're happy, they happy. Like, I don't overanalyze these videos when I see them. I'm like, oh, cool, she's cooking something from scratch. I'm like, oh, no, she got $3,000 fucking stove in her bag. I want one, too. I don't want one, because that's not necessary. It cooked the same thing. Like, what? Like, I'm not comparing my life to hers and getting jealous because she has money, she has a farm. I really don't care. I really don't care. I just focus on me. And y'all should too. Y'all should too. But anyway, I think this is the end of the video. I'm sorry if it's like a little bit like dialed down. I'm not feeling too good still, but I wanted to put a video out there because this genuinely makes me happy. And I want to get back into it before my depression gets worse. So I'm here now. I feel a little bit better. Things are coming in line. I do still have a medical issue. I do still have a legal issue that I would not be talking about until it's 100% finished. Go follow me on my vlogging channel. I made 2 separate channels now. So this is going to be my commentary and my other one is going to be my vlogging channel. The link is down below. I haven't posted anything on there yet, to be honest, because of everything that's going on, but I will soon. I do have a couple of things going on at the end of this week that I will be posting on there. But in the meantime, I see you next week. And my birthday is tomorrow. Today is what, the 31st? Yeah, my birthday's tomorrow. My doctor was like, oh yeah, you have a birthday tomorrow. And I was like, oh, I thought it was Friday. Yeah, but tell me happy birthday in the comments if you got this far into the video. Too many things have been going on, and that's probably why I'm depressed. I usually get depressed around my birthday, so yeah. Bye. Let me tell y'all something. My mic wasn't even on. My mic was not even on this whole thing. It's okay. I haven't been focused in a minute, y'all. I have not been focused at all.